Welcome to episode 100 of the OVW Podcast, the unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling. My name is Jackman Oaks.
Color me amazed. I'm Brian Hines. I can't believe we made it this far. We made it to 100.
100, baby. And I regret to inform everyone here at the top of the show, this is actually the last episode of the OVW Podcast. I will be stepping away to sail my catamaran around the tip of Africa. And it's been a great 100 episodes, but I know Brian and Tiny, they're going to be doing great for the next 100 or so.
We will soldier on. That is what we do here.
Yeah.
Congratulations, gentlemen, and thank you so much. Legitimately, it has been an honor to basically be nervous in front of you guys for a couple hours a week and sometimes get a little panicked for maybe no good reason for a couple hours a week.
Boy, that's an understatement.
And I appreciate you guys kind of just bearing with me as I maybe take this a little more seriously than is strictly necessary.
I'm surprised we made it past episode 4, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, you know, I was once we started going, and I realized it was like, oh, there's a meal a week that I can get for at least another couple weeks, and then I found out that you guys weren't too bad, and I was like, I guess I'll stick around and host the show. No, I'm just kidding. That's I was at a weird place when the show started.
I think we all were.
Well, I mean, yeah,
respectively as individuals, but. Over the course of almost 2 years now, I feel like we've really kind of pulled it together, and I didn't expect to be here. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, and I mean, this has been it's been a lot of fun to work on the last couple of years, and get to know the wider OVW personality base. Not only have we been fortunate enough to sit down with wrestlers, we sit down with people that make the decisions behind the scenes too, you know.
Yeah.
We've sat down and been accepted into, you know, a kind of golden circle of friendship that exists at OVW in and amongst Davis Arena, right? We've met a lot of great people that we're lucky to call friends at this point, 2 years in, right?
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of fun over the last 2 years to sit down and do this week in and week out, and like sitting and thinking about where we were 2 years ago when it was like hard to let's step into the time machine for a second. Brian Hines, let me ask you a question. Do you remember the first time, I want to say it was the first or second time that we went to Davis Arena and we were trying to like record something in the back of the car on the mobile unit, and I don't think that's not the same mobile unit we have. We have like a nicer one now, right?
Yeah.
And we're looking at each other, just trying, desperately like stepping on each other's toes as if we were just had to trade dance partners, you know.
And this never saw the light of day, by the way. This was never released. This conversation you're talking about.
Thank God for that.
No.
Well, it turns out you shouldn't, like when you were using a bunch of microphone cords, and this shows how much of a terrible producer I was at the time. Not a good idea to just have your iPhone just sort of resting on those cords, because every time it uses the internet, you'll get that old-fashioned sound in the audio. So,
can you spell that?
I'm going to go ZVVVVQVVVV.
That's a deduction right there.
Okay.
It was close. He was close. And we've come so far since that. I'll be honest. I didn't know that we would ever have gotten to a point that we've gotten to after that record. That was, they say like, oh, you have to have like one bad rehearsal before showtime, or like, you know, it's okay to be off like during a practice or like whatever. We kind of tried to hit the ground running that night and realized like, oh, stuff. We don't have what it takes right now to do the product that we want to put out. And that was like really disheartening, I think, for like the first couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And I think it showed. And then like I was like, I'll be 100% honest, like I was going through a really rough time. I was a mess. There was kind of no guarantee what version of me was going to show up, and we're trying to build a chemistry together, and it's impossible to do that under those circumstances. And I do apologize for that, Brian Hines. 2 years in, and now look at us. Like, I think we're putting out some of the best stuff that we've put out ever. I think it's easier than ever for us to sit down and do this.
Even when it seems like there's no chance in hell that we're going to be able to pull it off, we end up getting in here and sitting down, and it's like once you step through the curtain, it's a completely different thing. It's a completely different place, and we're completely different people.
Yeah, and that, I mean, everybody, like, I have a great job. Like, I'm not going to complain. For a guy like me, barely graduated high school, backdooring myself in the situation I backdoored myself into, I couldn't be happier. But everybody hates their job, inherently. Everyone hates their job. And what we do, we've said it 1,000 times, I'm sure that people already know, is literally, like, right on the other side of this door.
Yeah, if we had the means to do it, and one of these days we might, I would like to peel back the curtain for those listeners who haven't gotten the chance to come in. I know a lot of the people from the OVW locker room, a lot of the staff, a lot of the commentators have all been here. Mm-hmm. Some of the fans have been here, but
they're always surprised we're not in a basement.
Yeah, they are all surprised that we are not in a basement, but we are actually in a full-on studio that we basically built over the course of the last 2 years.
James built
James built it, but I don't know if you realize this, but I painted this room, and I apologize to everybody for having to see the...
I can tell you chose the color.
Well, yeah.
No,
okay.
I actually chose it. I don't know why.
Both of them.
Yeah. And the one you can't really see anymore.
We put the sound blankets up. It looked like Miami Vice in here. One side was like powder blue, and the other side's like hot pink.
It's not quite hot pink, but aggressive pink.
It's hot. It's hot pink if it's 90 degrees in the summer and you're trying to paint this piece.
To speak to your point though about how easy it is week in and week out to turn it on and come in here and do this, and what a relief it is, honestly, from our day-to-day life. We literally only get the reprieve of walking through a door.
Yeah.
To come in here and leave it and try to like put out something resembling a quality podcast.
Yeah.
Like,
or a reasonable facsimile thereof.
And it is kind of astonishing how easy it is to do that. And it's because of all of the great opportunities that we've been afforded through this podcast, and all the, like I said, all the people that we've gotten to meet that we can now call friends. And for something that I too thought was going to be a 2-week-long thing, 3-week-long thing, I'm very, very proud of us.
Me too, man. I am very, very proud of us, Jackman Oaks. Think about how far we've come. Think about getting to go to Davis Arena to interview Cashflow.
Yeah, I mean, that was a banner day. That was a really, really cool day. That was like a weird day that was kind of, in terms of where this podcast has been, that was the first day that we kind of, not the first day, but as things were kind of gaining momentum, so to speak, for us, like getting to go to an empty Davis Arena, get that ringside shot with Cashflow, like that was like another thing that we all looked at each other and was like, is this actually
There have
happening?
been several times over the course of the last 100 episodes where we have just kind of looked at each other like, is this real? Are we supposed to be here? Is it cool?
And, a big part of, speaking of moments like that early on, a big part of our success, and I'll give them credit as much as I possibly can, a big part of our success was Crixus and Freya coming down here taking a chance on us.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were our very first interviews. We had no idea how those were going to go. And we definitely were not the podcast hosts and interviewers that we are now.
I'm going to be honest. I've never gotten Freya the way that I want. We interviewed her that one time, and I just wasn't good. I mean, we weren't good.
Well, I mean, it was our first one. You have to, I mean, it's okay to suck when you start.
And then she also came down
with Crixus later.
Early on
Fan Zone, and we kind of weren't. And like that's so awesome that like both of them took a chance on us in two really early endeavors of ours, and like I cannot put into words how much I appreciate that. But I feel like Like, I feel like I've never really gotten it with Freya the way that I want. I want one of those, you know, because I think our first one with her was like 8 minutes. It's like embarrassingly like short.
Oh wow! So she's on the list then.
Yeah, we gotta.
Okay.
And she's been so great to us. Like, wonderful woman, wonderful woman.
Yeah, she really has, and everybody has. There hasn't been anybody who hasn't.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Do you remember the first time we went?
Tiffany Nieves? I mean,
well, that's just
you
because,
earned that.
Yeah, you guys are like
you earned every bit of that.
oil and water.
no, that was that was a testament. That video was a testament to how great she was. Really, when she sat down with us,
That was one of my favorite interviews.
So great that day.
One of our very first actual video interviews, because like when we first came in here, you can't really see them anymore, but you used to be able to see the black blankets that are the soundproofing of this room, and that's all we had. I remember literally just having 4 of them on freestanding hangers.
I remember that.
And just kind of shutting you guys up in a box of blankets and saying, "Here, make episode 1."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't even have a microphone, so it was just kind of you guys in the box just kind of working through it.
Yeah, yeah. The salad days.
Yeah, I do have a couple of numbers for you guys.
Okay.
99 of our 100 episodes have been recorded right here at Nut House Studios.
True.
One was not.
Is that at Country Boy?
Was in fact at Country Boy in Georgetown.
Yes, that's correct. That was our first live remote.
Mm-hmm.
To almost no audience. Accidental people just wanting to have dinner were around, but
Hey, that's fine.
They got a great and you know what? They got a
dinner and
great
a show,
show.
baby.
They got a great show.
They sure did, guys. It's rare work. 99 out of 100 I have produced. One episode of this podcast I did not produce.
Do you remember what episode it was?
I don't remember the number, but it was the one that Brian, you took your phone and you guys went live.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
On YouTube. So
that's right.
That's a numbered episode. So you get the credit as executive producer for that one.
I have a confession to make. I don't know if you realize this, but that episode happened purely out of spite.
No, I had figured it out.
We had already done we'd already done everything, and we were getting ready to record that, and the board just kind of like was not having it. That day.
There was an issue. I think we did a whole episode.
Have we done a whole episode?
Yes.
Yeah. We did a whole episode, and we were
muted.
getting ready to do the fan zone, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. And
Yeah.
there was and then you guys went live on your own. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was served kind of as a double. We went on essentially when Fan Zone would have gone on.
Yeah, it was the unofficial fan zone because we
also
couldn't log into the OVW.
Well, and we had no board even if we.
Yeah.
could've,
That was the only way we could pull that one off. So that's the thing I did, I guess.
So look, you guys went for like 40 minutes. You covered you basically used the notes that I had written for you, but it was
a hybrid because we didn't have a full-on true fan zone, and our audio for that episode of the podcast was wiped.
Yeah, there was no we never released. That's only on YouTube. That doesn't exist in the audio feed, but. Yeah, it is one of the numbered episodes. We skipped it in the audio feed, so so
YouTube exclusive.
YouTube exclusive.
You know, Kazako, the only OVW podcast completionist out there. That's a YouTube exclusive. So
y'all want to talk about the interview we did that came out earlier this week?
That with Rob?
That with our new friend Rob?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. That was something. I mean, it's not very often at this point in the game I really get nervous anymore. After being 100 episodes in, having 100, hitting triple digits under our belt. But that one hit a little bit differently because, I mean, they just acquired OVW. We didn't really know much about him other than what we had heard from people, and all the things we heard from people were fantastic. Mm-hmm. But when you actually get to sit down and have a video call that the recipient, the other person, is emanating from the United Kingdom, that is a banner day in my book.
You know, I thought that he kind of whiffed on the question about playgrounds, but other than that, he was. No. In all seriousness, Rob was very as charming and as intelligent as we had all heard and been led to believe that he was.
Yeah. Not to mention the way he spoke about what they had done with Haverfordwest and what
Very
they
impressive stuff.
plan to do to replicate that success with OVW and really make it a local institution and give it the proper place in Louisville society and history that it deserves was very, very exciting for me.
And as an interviewer, to have an interviewee that had been on the job, we found out kind of the extent of, and you'll have to go listen to the interview, I'm not giving it away here, found out the extent with how long he had been associated with OVW, but he's been on the job officially for a very short amount of time, and the stats and figures that this guy came with about the Louisville area and about Ohio Valley Wrestling was like very, very impressive. I guess I will say that he came from finance, so obviously an affluency with numbers is to be expected.
Sure.
But the stats specifically that he was pulling out weren't about money. They were about the community.
Yeah.
They were about the people that OVW could impact and how they could impact them. And that was all very, very impressive. Impressive guy, impressive interview. Go ahead and check it out. It's up on our YouTube. It's up on our audio feed as well.
Yes, it
Yes. It was very encouraging.
Yes.
Yeah, here's my top line takeaways, guys. What do you guys think? In three parts. First, OVW is staying in Louisville.
Yes.
Reports of their migration anywhere is ridiculous because it is intrinsically tied to the history of Louisville now.
I just don't think like that would have ever been on the table. I mean, I'm sure.
No, but there's so many people who think it's going to happen. I feel like it's important for that to be the top line takeaway.
Yeah, and I mean, when you have somebody who comes in and buys something that is beloved to you, you worry because you care.
Yeah, you worry, but like, I just don't. I mean, I think that was a situation. Maybe we should have taken 2 steps back on and say, well, what is the actual likelihood of that ever happening? And then before we worked ourselves up into a tizzy,
Well, I don't know that we got as far as tizzies. Anyway, they're staying in Louisville. They want to become a tourist destination.
Yeah.
They want to make sure everybody who's coming to Louisville knows, hey, you like wrestling? There's a wrestling show every Thursday night in Louisville, which is probably not true now, that if you just come into Louisville for a conference or for whatever reason, we occasionally run into people who are like, hey, we're working a construction job. Those dudes from Kansas who were absolutely out of their minds.
Are you talking about the PGA guys?
Maybe, yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, they were having fun that night.
Oh, yeah. They were in town for like
weeks.
3-4 weeks, and they were there every single Thursday and loved every second of it.
So they're going to become a tourist destination, and they're going to engage with the community like an OVW never really has before.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
To go back through the community outreach that they had done at Haverfordwest was like so extensive and of so many wide varieties.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing OVW do 1% of that would be a massive undertaking, and also like really, I think, ingratiate themselves into the community in the way that Rob talks about so frequently, not only in our interview but in his press release and other stuff that he said other places. So, great stuff from Rob.
We do have a couple of before we let the 100th episode discussion kind of get too far away from us. We do have some greetings. Some people wanted to come. We had originally thought maybe we would have some people show up. Would love to have, and would still, if OVW people are listening, we'd love to have an event where we get, 30 OVW people in a room, and we just set you two in here and literally just kind of shoot one at you every 2 minutes.
Maisie will cook, and that's a very good.
That sounds
thing.
like a perfect blueprint for July 5th, the Manchester show.
Perfect Blue. That one's for anime. That one's for Malachi back there.
So let's do the first of the video greetings we got, Malachi.
Hey guys, Maisie Maria here, and
Next one, Suave.
to the OVW Podcast most favorite supporters, and
That is
we
just
just
true.
wanted to wish you guys, happy 100th episode. We are incredibly sorry that we could not be there. As you can tell, we're in my office. We are stuck at work. I'm going to be here. It is not a ring. I'm going to be here all freaking night tonight. This jabron has to go wrestle on a show. So we wish we could be there with you guys. But you know what? Here's to another 100.
Wow.
Maximo and Maria.
I absolutely love those two.
We have had a really, really wonderful opportunity to share some moments with them, like in the world, and like they are. I don't know. I will. My favorite Maria memory is in the parking lot at Davis Arena.
I knew it.
Oh my!
With a bottle.
Do I have a dump button?
With a bottle of peach vodka and a few swigs.
I thought you were going to say that, but if you didn't say that, I thought it was probably going to be the time we got her to call in to discuss Mickie James joining the OVW, and we hear this gruff voice on the other line angrily questioning who the men are that she's talking to, and we freeze in panic, and then we hear hilarious laughter on the other end as it was just Maximo messing with this.
No, definitely paper bag and peach vodka in the parking lot.
Yeah, that was it was just one of those days, man.
This is the unofficial show.
Yeah, unofficially speaking.
Let's we do have one more greeting before we get to our break.
We have a break.
We always have
Hey, to all my friends at the OVW Podcast, congratulations on 100 episodes. You guys have been killing it from the beginning, so I'm proud to say that not only have I been a part of the show, but I'm friends with you guys, and I really love what you're doing. And would I lie to you? Because, I mean, I am a really good guy, right? Hope y'all have another 100, 200, 300 episodes. Keep it going, but don't ever forget what made you unofficial. Y'all have a good one.
Man, he really is a good guy.
No, Eric Cornishman.
Yeah, I love that guy. In all sincerity, you've always been so kind to us. You were one of the first people who came up and introduced yourself the first time we went to Davis after we started the podcast. I'm sure we've told this story before, but just really quick. The first time we went back to Davis after doing the podcast, we were shocked to realize that everybody who was on the show that we watched every week and talked about knew us on site by name at this point, and it was really kind of surreal. Like, how do you know me? I mean, you can't be serious when you say that you actually watched what we were doing, because we were like 4 episodes in at that point.
Well, and
you couldn't even watch then; it was just listen.
To hit an old school one too.
Yeah.
To hit an old school one too. I don't have social media, so I had no grasp of what pictures or videos of my likeness were out there and being shared, and where they were being shared, and who might have seen them.
Yeah.
In general, so like
it is fun to watch you guys like be your very weird minor celebrities in exactly one building.
Yes, in this one particular place, kind of.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's not that. It's that we've made really great friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's that
that's the part that means the most.
It's that people think that this is cool enough to spend time with, for an hour or so a week, and they feel like they know us well enough to let us into their cool little thing that they have, and like that's like the cool thing about this, right? That's the most rewarding thing about this, is to get let into people's cool little circles. Yeah,
the fact that people actually look forward to us, and if we're a day late or something like that, they wonder where we've been. The one that really got me was when Keith's granddaughter it was the Tough Love pay-per-view this year. I went to the concession stand, and I came back, and she had been sitting next to me, and we'd been talking. She wanted to wear all sparkles because she wanted to look like Hollywood Haley J. And I went to the concession stand, and I came back, and she was talking to this little boy. And she came over and asked me if it was okay if he sat by me because he wanted to introduce himself. And I said, of course, sure. So he came over and talked for a little bit. And he really just wanted to say that he watched us on TV like every night, and he watched before bed. And that moment right there was like, I can't think of a higher honor than that for somebody little to look forward to us. Mm-hmm. So it's just very humbling sometimes.
While we're reminiscing, I know we're going a little long, but
this episode is supposed to be long.
I've got my own very special connection with a listener of the show. He's the kindest boy in the world. Have I ever told the full kindest boy in the world story on this podcast?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so
if not, this is the time for it.
So, I'm at the Davis Arena, and at Davis Arena, like, first off, I already kind of can't pee in front of people. Like, I already kind of have to wait for the.
That's not what I thought was going to happen.
I kind of already have to wait for the bathroom to be empty. And also at Davis Arena, like, I saw who I now refer to as the kindest boy in the world. He went in, and I couldn't tell if someone was in the stall, and I just said, "Oh, I'll just wait." And he went in. And kind of, I guess, realizing that I needed to use the restroom, came back out and said, "Oh, you can use the stall," which was very nice of him. And I kind of didn't know how to explain to him what urine anxiety was, and I also didn't want to step on the little kid being nice parade,
Sure.
So I went in and used the stall, and we were kind of washing our hands, and he was like, "Oh, I'm the kindest boy in the world." And I said, "I can tell." He goes, "No, I got an award for it at school last year." And I said, "That does not surprise me at all." So every week I kind of see this kid, and he comes and gives me a hug, and I'm not going to put his name out here, but he's a really, really sweet kid. He's on camera all the time, if that lets anybody know. And we're out in the parking lot, and I was kind of just chatting with, I didn't know it was his mom. We were just kind of talking about the show or whatever, and he comes running over to me and goes, "You remember me? We met in the bathroom last week." And I said, "Oh, buddy, let's..."
Out of context, that could be a sticky situation.
I was like, let's back up.
Hopefully not.
This conversation. And had to kind of like frantically, well, no, and then like in my mind, I just go, but this, I said, he's so kind. I know he won this award because he's so kind. He let me use the like it clicked in my head how to very succinctly explain his sentence, So like that was fun and cool. And then I feel like at this point, one last story on my end is that this whole show only exists because I wore a New Japan Pro Wrestling T-shirt. I think we might have mentioned that before.
That is the heart of all of this, to be sure.
It was like brand new at the time when I got it. It was from an event. It was an event only shirt, and I was wearing it all over town. I was wearing it 5 days a week because I felt so cool in it. The first time I met Al, this is before AEW is even a thing. The first time I met Al in person on the radio, I was wearing a New Japan Pro Wrestling shirt, a different one because I'm a mark. And he goes, "How did you like your AEW?" And I was like, it's two different companies. Like, but he just knew what kind of wrestling fan I was based off the fact that I was wearing a New Japan shirt. It was like after AEW's like first pay-per-view that was free. They didn't even have a TV deal yet. Like,
oh wow!
So this was very, very early into AEW. I think it was the weekend prior to Al coming out on a Monday, and he just said, "How did you like your AEW?" But yeah, that's all I got as far as.
Well, yeah, and he was you might as well tell the whole story because you were wearing that New Japan Pro Wrestling T-shirt the very first day that you were my training supervisor
at this same radio station in the same studio, actually. And I like to be tough on. I don't like to be mean. I don't like to, but like if you're on my thing, like, I'm getting you to the point that you need to be at as quickly as possible. Like, and I'm throwing you on air quick. Like, we're getting over any hiccup that you might run into. We're trying to get over it first 15 minutes, baby. Like, I don't have 4 weeks to get you to the point where I can trust you to be a DJ. I just don't. We're trying to get over all of what could potentially be your fears in the first 15 minutes. So I throw people on pretty quick. And
hard to believe, but I was not at all shy about being on the radio.
But you never know. You never know. And I train mostly college kids. So it's, I very rarely get older folks.
Sure.
I think they like to stick them with me, though, because I have had a lot, I think, of disproportionate amount, but that's okay.
He called you old.
I am old.
No, you're no Wayne Dollar. Wayne Dollar was probably about 15 years older than you.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I liked him. Liked him too.
That's a pretty great name.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Very, very deserving of his name. And you made a Hulk Hogan reference, and I was kind of like, at the time, that wrestling fan that wanted to be like, but I kind of just let you have it because I was impressed that you
Knew to make
a wrestling reference. Yeah. So then about 3 or 4 years later,
I'm like, hey, I'm going to do this wrestling podcast.
Yeah, do you want to do it? And I said, yeah, I'll do about 2 episodes of it. And then that's where the conversation started.
So this whole thing started with the New Japan Pro Wrestling shirt.
And
Sorry,
the fact
Al.
that
Al.
I knew enough wrestling to be able to have that conversation.
And it was a New Japan Pro Wrestling shirt, right?
Yeah, it was for the Nashville show at the War Memorial Coliseum, which was sick because it's like like Greek Roman style like Coliseum.
Oh, cool.
With that's like where you walk in and they've got like a theater inside. But it was like built in like the 40s, I guess. Super dope, great show. And they were like for the event only.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and it had like the New Japan symbol and a little guitar, because it was in Nashville.
Yeah.
Every city on the tour had a different
Little
local
thing.
shirt. Yeah.
Well, that kind of ties into what I did this weekend. I don't know if I didn't really get a chance to talk to you about it, but I went to the Burl.
Whoops.
They had it was called the Drunken Flea. It was a flea market
Yeah.
from 12 to 8, and I didn't know what to expect, but I went. I had a great time.
Oh yeah, it's fun, man.
I gave all my money to a guy named Derek because he had like all the goods and he wasn't like crazy expensive on stuff. But I want to show you the favorite thing that I got.
Okay.
All right, so bear with me for a second.
While you're changing, I will say, Brian Hines, I'm liking that you found your home over at the Burl. This is a good place for you, I think. It's right around the corner.
It is.
It's kind of hip. It's kind of cool.
It's also very vintage because I haven't stepped into an arcade like that since like 6th grade.
It's better than hanging out at the place down the street next to your apartment with all the 80-year-old men.
Well, yeah, there's that. But the cheeseburgers are better there. So, I mean, it depends on your mood. So, I always wanted one of these at the height of their success, and I had never found it. And
not Jimmy?
Do what?
So not Jimmy?
No, wait, who, what?
You seem to have Jimi Hendrix on your shirt.
Oh, that's Bob Ross.
Bob Ross.
Oh, Bob Ross.
The last person who made that mistake was Trey, and he was 3. But it's the 100th episode. I'll forgive you.
Okay.
But this is a vintage tee. We cut me a really good deal on it. You ready?
Yeah. Oh, I'm ready. Oh, the Wolfpack.
Wow.
I always wanted a Wolfpack T-shirt.
Team Red NWO Vintage.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, I do want to confirm. You can tell it's vintage because it actually has the trademark right on the front of the shirt, which is not something people do anymore. And I can see the year right here. That is 1998 World Championship Wrestling, a Time Warner Company, all rights reserved.
Yeah. So I got a fantastic deal on this. I saw one.
No, this one was the C Murder song. This was the Wolfpack with the C Murder song.
Oh, yeah.
I saw one other one that was just like this. I got a good deal on this one. Basically, I got it for what I would have paid back in 1998.
Oh, wow.
I saw another one that was the exact same shirt with the exact same riding on the back.
Bad has arrived and it's here to stay. NWO.
OVW Podcast. The other one,
Wow.
guess how much they wanted for the other one?
To 274.
That was the
270.
1996 WrestleMania Shawn Michaels shirt. That was $275.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't remember which one you told me.
The
was
other one that they
expensive.
wanted $68 for it.
Yeah, man. Vintage wrestling stuff is out of control.
I had no
dude.
idea. I'm going to have to go back home and root through all my boxes and stuff because, I've got all sorts of things back in Ohio. You could ask me for practically anything. And
There's a whole podcast.
There's a pretty solid chance that I would be able to produce it.
I'm sorry. Like, I used to watch WCW back in the day. Did you just defect to the NWO? Because you came out here, and now you've taken off your shirt to reveal you
Yeah,
had
that
an
is
NWO shirt
that
on.
is some NWO behavior.
That is how you joined the NWO.
That's how we're going to usher in the next 100 episodes of the podcast. How about that?
All right. Well, I have a couple. At Davis Arena, nobody recognizes me because I am safely off camera. But what will happen, and this has happened a half a dozen times, is I'll get to the front of the line at the snack bar, and I'll be bantering with the snack bar person placing my order, getting ready to drink a whole half of a Coke Zero at once. And somebody will be walking past, and I will say something, and they will, stop and then turn around, and they will be at my shoulder when I'm done talking and be like, "You're on the podcast." Yes, I am.
Yes,
And
you are.
I do want to mention Malachi P.S. Woodard has commemorated the event by discovering there were some stickers on the computer, and he spent about 10 minutes of this opening section peeling those stickers off of the production computer back here and making a little pile of stickers between us.
That was probably what was on my seat at the beginning of the show that I had to clean off. I knew it had something to do with Malachi back there.
I'm not surprised. Well, it just goes to show you that even the computer is new and ready to go for the next 100 episodes. How about that?
So congratulations,
Get
guys.
back behind your computer. Get back behind your computer. I want to see you out here. Get back behind your computer. Sorry, that was from Malachi.
Yeah, I know.
All
So,
right.
yeah, congratulations, guys, for 100 episodes. And we will, our 2-year anniversary comes up in August, so we get all the holidays now.
So if we have a 2-year anniversary coming up, let's see whether we can plan an event for that where
Yeah, I'd love
the
to have
weather's
a
nice.
spectacular, yeah.
Maybe we
I
could.
actually don't want to really think about the month of August in terms of anniversaries. Really, ever.
Captain Leo has returned.
No, it's not even that. When I was talking with, since we are reminiscing, dude, when we started this thing, August 2023 was the worst month of my entire life.
I remember that.
August 2023 was the worst months of my entire life. Probably up through about November of that year. I was mostly living in my truck for a few months at the very beginning of this podcast. That's the truth, man. So I'm good, dude. I don't ever want to think about the beginning of that time period ever again. If we could just switch straight to September where stuff started getting halfway decent, that would be cool.
It's all a matter of perspective, really. Think about how far you've come since then.
Yeah. No, and a big part of that is having this. If I would have actually gone insane if I didn't have something structuring my time back then.
Yeah.
I would have actually gone insane.
So on the topic, can we talk about wrestling now? And quit patting ourselves on the back?
No, Malachi.
Wow, P.S. Woodard shows up with the straight talk.
In this case, PS stands for please stop.
Get back behind your computer.
You guys want to throw us to break?
Yeah. Well, let's do tour updates and then we'll throw.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
there's a whole section with
Yeah, I guess we are here for the actual wrestling, aren't we? Every Thursday, OVW Rise at Hot Point Davis Arena. Doors open 6:15. Overdrive starts at 6:30, and OVW Rise starts at 7 p.m. We've got the OVW Rumble at the Raceway Series, Ponderosa Speedway, Junction City, Kentucky. We've got Saturday, June 21st and July 19th, 2025. We also have OVW Hard Reset at Hot Point Davis Arena. That's coming up on June 14th. Free all-ages show at Element Eatery in Cincinnati, Ohio on June 28th. Our favorite shows of the year, as we've said time and again, happen at the Manchester Music Hall. The next one's coming up on July 5th. We also have a new listing for a there we go. That's the old realtor coming out in me. It's not a new listing. It's a new
we've
show.
got a new
Courtesy Acura. You misspelled.
You're gonna
Courtesy.
love
That's
love
the
this one.
deduction
It's in a
points.
great neighborhood.
Yeah, I was gonna say Courtesy Acura. This is the sweet guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is July 12th at OVW Independence Rage, Hot Point Davis Arena on July 26th. You can get tickets for all of these dates at OVWTix.com. Before we go to break, do you know what today is? I just saw this in my my Facebook memories
Is it
today.
the 27th?
Yes, May 27th. That was the day of the Country Boy Show in 2022 that was used in the first and second episodes of Wrestlers on Netflix. That was the first time I met a lot of these people. My first exposure to OVW, so it is also a tie-in to that as well. 3 years for me.
You were both in that crowd, right?
Yes,
Chapman,
we
you
were.
at that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in Wrestlers on Netflix
Several times.
somewhat frequently during that segment, which also ties into why August 2023 was so bad. But that's someone else in that particular clip in August 2023. But anyway,
Just throw us to break, man.
Let's go to break.
Hey, folks. Tiny Brian here on behalf of Blacklight Moon Productions and Victory Industrial Company and Divine Spirits. We all just want to wish you guys a very happy 100 episodes of the podcast. On behalf of Abby and Victor and Doc and Sneezy and everybody.
Those are dwarves.
Yes. Oh, yes. You're right. But yes, great job. Hard to imagine that we've actually managed to do it. Thanks again. And now, back to the OVW podcast.
We want to thank Ohio Valley Wrestling for all of our clips from this week's Rise.
Yes, and Gladiator Sports. Thank you so much.
Well, they've got a new production company now.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, I heard this. I heard this on the flip.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, they've got it. I should have written it down, in all honesty, but we'll put it in future notes.
My apologies.
But yeah, we'll just
My
thank
mic is
Ohio Valley Wrestling for this week.
Yes, thank you so much.
You guys good back there? Mister, can we talk about wrestling now?
Am I going to have to separate you two?
I think so.
Yeah.
You're bigger. You're the bigger one. You're going to have to go back there and do it.
I mean, I don't want to have to, but I will.
Shall we do the call?
Oh, yeah, the call ended because we were quiet.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Hang on a second, guys.
He's trying to surprise us with something.
No, you just stop streaming. Unmute the.
There we go.
Malachi, you're going to have to cut around this.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
This has been going on for way too long.
I hope the surprise is like chicken tenders or pizza or something.
Some tendies,
Yeah.
like
Hello.
Dominic.
You're still muted.
All right. Yeah, I'm not muted.
Oh, test.
We don't need that we will. So I should unmute this now.
No, you're good.
Will it play the audio through the?
Only one way to find out.
Okay, here we go, gentlemen. Sorry for the weird. Would it be an episode of the OVW podcast if there was not a minor technical?
Well, you know,
No, it would not.
Spend about 45 minutes talking about all of our feelings, my feelings, and then we're diverting back to this old song and dance. I thought by 100 episodes we would have figured it out.
Well, we figured it out. You guys are ready to go.
So what were we figuring out?
Yeah, what's going on here?
So we changed. The feed of the clips was not going to Malachi.
Okay.
We had to restart the thing that lets Malachi see the clips that we're doing.
Oh, I see. So
Okay.
they're not great clips.
No. Great Clips is in fact bad.
Okay.
but are they above us right now?
Well, there's a window above you. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about the first match from this week, Brian Hines.
The first match this week, the Mammoth Donovan Cecil starts us off, and he's got a match against Tommy Mars.
I like that guy.
Yeah?
That guy was cool. Yeah, I like that guy, man. He kind of reminds me of like Speedball Mike Bailey if he was believable.
Okay, then.
Yeah. No, I like Tommy Mars.
Yeah. That was the first time I'd seen him. I don't think we've seen him in OVW during our tenure at the podcast, have we?
They've described him as a newcomer,
Ah, well, then that tracks.
but not his first rise.
Not
Just
his first
relative
concert.
newcomers.
Yeah.
They said.
Yeah, I like the look, man. I hope we see more of him.
Yeah, he's kind of like Rambo.
What?
He's kind of like what Rambo looks like in Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I just say he's got a good look. He looks cool, man.
Yeah,
Tommy Mars.
Y'all want to take a little look at him?
we do.
Yeah.
Try
See,
to-
he's even got the headband on, dude.
Yeah.
You think he kind of looks like Rambo?
I haven't played Mortal Kombat in 30 years, dude. Although I did see Donovan.
There's the
I did see it
fingerless
coming that
gloves.
Donovan Cecil was going to throw him out, all the way across the ring. Chops. Nah, dude. Okay, I like the dancing. You just pissed him off. That's it.
Yeah, Donovan Cecil in this kind of the like MMA kind of presentation.
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't the one with the gloves on, that was Tommy over there. I'm really, really, really liking Donovan Cecil right now.
He's slimmed down quite a bit
I've noticed,
without any sort of loss of power at all.
and I mean, he's always been quick on his feet, but the loss in weight, that's definitely not gonna hurt.
Oh no, he's got a little bit more spring in his step, a little bit faster, a little bit quicker.
Can we see our next clip, please?
So we're gonna try to see if we can hear this clip
Okay.
because it's worth listening to.
Is it the clip I think it is?
It probably is.
Do we need to be quiet for it? Yep.
Oh, that's got to sting.
Broke him in half.
Wait, he wasn't done.
Oh,
Listen how quiet Davis.
No,
Ray gets.
I was gonna say the same thing.
it reminds me of that Bjork song. It's so quiet, where she's all.
That's a good reference.
Thank you.
I swear there is not one sound.
Pin drop, as they would say.
Yeah.
You could hear a pin drop. And the crowd was here for it. I mean, if you remember, the reason that he went for the second one is because the crowd's chanting him on, and they were in anticipation, as we heard,
Oh yeah.
to
get as silent as a mouse. Let Donovan Cecil work on Tommy Rich. He's still.
We'll never solve where Wildfire Tommy Rich is.
Yeah, he just never appeared. He made it to Davis Arena, and no one ever saw him again.
That was like.
Except for his other appearances.
Yeah, except for appearances everywhere else.
That would be the first thing I would rectify. Rob, if you're listening.
Get Wildfire
Get
Tommy
Wildfire
Rich back
Tommy
in
Rich
Davis
back in
Arena.
Davis Arena.
Are we going to have to make flyers?
I want to hear his side of the story.
Put Kennison back in the ring. Come on, dude.
Let's go ahead and see our finish here. I don't think this is any secret when you got a newcomer like Tommy Mars in this situation, and Donovan
No.
Cecil, who's at this point a stalwart in the singles division.
Yeah, I'm glad we've gotten to see more of him lately, and it appears as though it's going to be a short night for Tommy Mars. Blam.
Oh,
Fall away F5.
I wonder if he's in
And-
a rival band, a band that rivals Ryan Von Rocket.
You know, when I was thinking the same thing earlier this morning.
Yeah, I don't think they would be in the same band.
Was that he kind of looks like he is a little bit more toward Lawless than he is Loud, but he's like right there in the middle.
Yeah.
Like if they were trifecta, finally somebody's gonna step up to them, and it's Loud, Lawless, and then this guy. That would be kind of sick.
Mm-hmm.
Loud, Lawless, and Mars.
He's like trapped.
Like the band?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And Lawless is like Caesar. And, of course, Ryan Rocket's Poison.
That's the only one I agree with. The other ones, it's just because you and I are from different generations. Trapped in a Seether, it's like, nah, that's not real music to me.
Oh, it's not real music to me either.
Okay.
I want to make that completely clear.
All right. I would have gone with some other bands, but
like that era of rock and roll, like Buck Cherry, dude. Like, just tell me Jake Lawless doesn't look like he's the guitar player in Buck Cherry.
Okay.
Like, I'm just saying.
No, I totally get it.
Like, and this Tommy Mars kind of looks like the replacement guy in like Steel Panther, like an '80s tribute act.
Either that or he's in a Black Sabbath tribute band.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
So I think
not quite Max Sabbath, but still.
I was thinking, like it was like one of those things like where back in the day, like they would call like a wrestler like Macho Man Rick Hogan or something like that. Tommy Mars is clearly a like he's like tells people he's in Motley Crue.
Yeah,
like he's like, oh no, I'm Tommy Mars from Motley Crue. Like,
and he played guitar one time when somebody was sick.
Yeah.
So I think what we're saying is him and Jake Lawless should now be a tag team. Is that what I'm hearing?
Just vibes only. Just based on vibes only. Yes.
Yeah. That is correct.
Let's move along, shall we?
So I do want to say something about Donovan's pin with the two fists down, kind of reminiscent of a mammoth, or like he's in starting position at a race. Anybody else that would be arrogant. Donovan Cecil does it. It's cool and badass.
Yeah, because that's just part of who he is.
Right. And I just wanted to point that out. I like that. After the match, Jack Vaughn appears via video, challenges Donovan to name the competition, and Jack will beat him. We're going to like throw some barrels around? We're going to drag a semi-truck?
I am here for this, and I don't know what it would possibly be. If it's a strongest man competition event, I don't see Donovan losing that. If it's something else and there's some trickery, some treachery, maybe Jack Vaughn's got a trick up his sleeve. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that this will be as straightforward as Donovan Cecil will hope it is. Jack Vaughn's always got a trick up his sleeve, like you're saying. But I do think that this could be primed for some really, really good Gaga.
Yeah, this could be. I don't know whether it'll be right up there with the Dude Love Dance Off, because that's like right up here.
That's like, yeah. I mean,
that set the bar ridiculously high. I could see them maybe like, I don't know, trying to pull trucks with their teeth.
Yeah, that's what I would like to see.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know, man. We'll just have to see what happens. But last year I can only speak for myself. You can agree or disagree, but I really wanted to see a rivalry between the veteran Jack Vaughn and Jay De Niro, and we got like the tiniest little glimpse of it, and then we didn't. I would love to see a summer where these two guys battle each other through the hills of Kentucky and parts beyond. I think that would be a phenomenal rivalry to see for the next little while.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. I think that's, when you're looking at something like this, you are hopeful that you can take this around all summer. You're hopeful that you can push this for a couple pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, knowing the two guys involved, availability, everything works out. This could be a lot of fun for the rest of the summer. Mm-hmm. Up next is a match between Carter Kaufman and Dayami Ho.
She's dropping the hoe.
She's just Dayami now.
That was the first thing that AJ says.
I skipped right to the when the bell rang.
Well, that's a deduction.
Yeah, I know. I did a fast watch this week. I don't do that every week, but I did do kind of a fast watch this week. I did see something, though, that was really funny that I've been thinking about a lot, and now that Dayami's back, I feel like it's a good time to mention it. I swear I saw on her Instagram where she was wrestling on a little person's wrestling event, and I was to myself thinking, like, she's just short, right? she's not like a little person. She's just short. And then I was like, well, maybe I forgot. So I was glad to see her back and make the distinction in my mind.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a weird booking decision to put somebody that was like, it's a,
That was rather strange.
Yeah, it just stuck out to me for some reason. I don't know. It was something that I had went back and forth with a lot in my mind. Much like Angelica Risk these past couple of weeks, Dayami is, if she can stick around, has all the makings of power player in the women's division.
Mm-hmm.
First off, no one else looks like her.
No.
The mask, right? In the women's division, she's the only person in mask. That automatically sets her apart. Not only that, I love her work. I think she's really, really fantastic wrestler. And in a time where we get asked week in and week out, well, who's going to come in the women's division? Women's division's looking kind of weak right now. Angelica Risk and Dayami here to save the day, right? However, Carter Kaufman, Dayami, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
I love Carter Kaufman. Keep on plugging.
Mm-hmm.
But a returning Dayami with the look that she has and the appeal that she has and the charisma that she has, she's got to beat somebody. And tonight it was Carter Kaufman.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Let's see our first clip here. Wow.
Wait.
And then a 619 of her own. Angelica Risk, of course, has been burning up Davis Arena with that.
Her own version, yeah.
With that same move.
High risk maneuver.
And
High
Dayami
crossbody.
up to the top. Now, what's this thing called here?
I don't
Is
know.
that called a
but
plancha? I don't know. I really, for as much wrestling as I watch, and it's probably because I watch a lot of it on mute, I don't know. I don't know names. I don't know names of moves at all. Yeah,
Excuse me.
That's something for the next 100 episodes. I think I'd like to get better at.
Move spotting.
Yeah, is deciphering the names of moves, and
Maybe we could have
the easy ones,
Yeah.
not like the hard ones. Like just like what's the difference? Like I just want to get like the technical side down a little bit better.
We all do.
Can we see our next clip?
Sure.
I liked this part. Carter Kaufman.
She kind of Babe Ruth's her home run there.
Yeah,
Yep.
calls her shot, takes a swing, runs the bases, and then slide kicks her right on the head in the corner. That was a nice touch.
No, that's good. This is the type of like improvement that I want to see from Carter Kaufman.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I know that she's a softball player, but I don't know anything about her other than that.
Yeah, we really
I know
don't.
that
Other than she's part of the new dude review.
And who knows if that's coming back?
You never know.
I mean, it's who knows if Dude Love's ever coming back? Might be a different guy. Might be a totally different guy next time.
Yeah, it could very well be.
That is just true.
You just don't know.
I still want Carter Kaufman and Showtime Shanklin to form a little faction, the sportsman faction, or the sports people.
Is this just the sport? I mean, okay.
Can they find a guy with a hockey theme, maybe?
The sports people. No, I want to go back to that.
They're the sports section.
Yeah.
See, there we go.
Yeah.
Finally, the sports people.
It's like the village people only, but sports oriented.
I mean, I don't know that they're going to sing.
But I'm just concerned. Like, here's the thing: is he came up with Hush Syndicate. It was so good. Right?
That was
It was so good.
That was solid.
And he's been trying ever since.
And
Diminishing returns, and now we're at sports people.
Yeah.
Sports section is clearly better.
Yeah, obviously. Duh.
Yeah, because it sounds like a tag team name.
And it's also a part of the newspaper.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm very 20th century.
A lot of plays on that.
Yeah.
A lot of plays on that. All over the place. Let's go ahead and see our last clip here from this match, please.
Alrighty.
See Dayami with the big Inseguri. I know that one.
That
Plants
DDT
Carter.
looked rough.
Yeah, kind of plants Carter Kaufman right on her head with the DDT. Up to the top rope again from Dayami. And a swanton for the victory.
That was a pretty solid finish.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I think, again, and I don't know anybody's schedule or anything like that, but Dayami is another star in the wings for the women's division, right? If she's around.
Yeah, and who knows? We may have already talked to her, but we wouldn't know because she's wearing a mask.
That's true. She even keeps that up on social media. I see a lot of social media apparently.
Huh.
Jake Painter and Brandon. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, I was right. About 3 of the evening. Brian Hines, Jake Painter, and Brandon Davis versus Crixus and Tony Gunn, accompanied by Doug Basham.
Yeah, that's right. The first appearance of Crixus and Tony Gunn as a tag team. Did they tag before?
No, they tagged. No. This is it. I think, at least upon both of their returns.
Yeah.
I certainly can't remember
We've seen them
I
in
thought
tandem together a few times, but I don't think we've ever seen them tag team.
Yeah.
We've seen them in the same area,
Yeah, interfering like they do. The people in the Revolution can't leave anything alone because that's just how they are. But they have an official match with Jake Painter and Brandon Davis this week. Glad to finally see Tony Gunn back in action. He takes 4 months. Crixus was out for a while, as Leather Daddy Doug pointed out last week, and I thought he was going to get the beat down by the way he was talking.
It certainly looked like it. Unfortunately, that didn't happen
yet
for the Davis Arena faithful. I like Jake Painter and Brandon Davis as a tag team. I think that as far as two guys that are kind of, we've seen them in some spots, kind of floating around, where they're putting in good work, but they're not picking up, decisive victories. I think that Brandon Davis and Jake Painter could be a nice little tag team.
I think that this is another example of current events at OVW because I feel like a lot of people kind of fall under that heading. And, I mean, that's just how it is sometimes before things really start to fire on all cylinders for people. I mean, think about the trifecta. We've had the trifecta for about a month now. Before that, we had Brandon Beretta, Ashton Adonis, and
Anthony Katina. As
individual wrestlers. The whole is more than the sum of its parts. And I feel like this could very well be the case with Jake Painter and Brandon Davis as well.
Yeah, I think that this could be a great spot for them to kind of showcase what they're both really, really good at, and, maybe pick up some momentum as far as wins go, maybe pick up some steam as far as wins go. And then, depending on what your philosophy is in tag team booking, if you think that tag teams are only there to be broken up and have the subsequent feud, I think they could have a nice feud as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're really, really, I noticed, putting over Brandon Davis's social media stuff. So I guess
I
he's like a
noticed
bigger deal than I can quantify.
Because we haven't seen a lot of him at OVW. We've seen him here and there a little bit.
He's been on Overdrive several times.
Well, I mean, he's not like a headliner or, like upper mid card week after week after week after week.
No,
is what
surely
I'm saying.
not.
I think he has all of the trappings of it, though. I think both Jake Painter and Brandon Davis do.
I feel like Jake Painter's come a really, really long way in the past, we'll just say 2025.
I think he's probably always been there, but I do think it was the coat. I do, man. I do agree with you that he's gotten better, but I think he's probably. I don't think the deficit was as large as we were painting it out to be, because I think we were all just so turned off by that jacket.
Well, I mean, clothes make the man.
Well, before that, he did come in, if I'm not mistaken, in a white painter's smock with a
different guy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Different guy. That guy was named Sebastian.
Yep.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's a deduction.
And he was like the master of the canvas. Jake Painter's like the back-breaking artist, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Good
Okay.
job.
Yeah, man. For the
You guys are professionals. 100 episodes.
Well, come on.
Unofficially speaking, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
And I mean, let's be honest. If I'm pulling out facts, we're in trouble. If I'm pulling out obscure things, we're in trouble. Guys that we've seen one time at Davis Arena, we're in trouble. Okay. Let's go ahead and see the end of this match here. Crixus and Tony Gunn.
Actually, this is just the first clip. This is where we see Jake Painter.
Painter looks good. He's a house on fire.
Oh no, man, he is good.
The reverse atomic drop.
That's
the backbreaker.
Like a back code breaker.
That really has become his thing, the backbreaker. He's as fluent in pulling that out of nowhere as other people are with a cutter.
And Tony Gunn taking that arm drag and just making it look like he's getting, a lot of people like to go high, which are great. I love big high arm drags.
Sure.
Tony Gunn here says, I'm going to make it look like he just threw me on the mat, like aggressively,
Yeah.
Like that was fantastic. Good stuff. Good to see Tony Gunn back. I think we're all in agreement about that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, can we see our next clip? Got Brandon Davis trying to do a little something. Got it
High crossbody.
onto Tony Gunn. Crixus is the legal man. Highland Heatseeker. 1, 2, 3. Jake Painter not too quick off the jump. Tony Gunn there to intercept him anyway.
Brandon Davis didn't know what hit him. He didn't know about that tag. He didn't see it.
No, definitely. But this is, I like that as a game from Crixus and Tony Gunn.
Oh yeah, that's that just goes to show you that they're veterans. They're a well-oiled machine. They know how to react to each other and to their opponents.
After the match, Doug calls out Cal, says he knows whose Cal partner is at Hard Reset will be, and he leaves the ring. Any guesses with that, Brian Hines?
At Hard Reset?
Yep.
Well, I think that during the fan zone last week we had a couple of guesses. And as far as I'm concerned, it really just comes down to two people. And one of them we see later on in the evening, and that's Dustin Jackson.
Yeah, and I just think that at pay-per-view.
But pay-per-view is different. Hard Reset is different.
And I'm sure Dustin Jackson will be busy that night anyway. He is a champion after all.
That's true. He will probably be defending his championship belt. Naturally, that lends itself to the question, would it be Jamin Olivencia?
That's who I'd like to see. That'd be dope.
That is very much what I would like to see.
Jamin Olivencia is a lot of fun.
Who knows? He's probably out traveling through different dimensions and stuff like that, or at the top of a mountain somewhere doing something. No, wait, that was Darby Allin. But hopefully we can get him at OVW Davis Arena for Hard Reset on June 14th.
He might have been up there at Darby Allin. He might have been the guide.
At this point, I wouldn't put anything past him.
I interviewed Darby Allin once.
Did you really?
Yeah, he was very, very cool. He was a very, very down-to-earth guy.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, it was really I think he thought that I was like a rock radio DJ, though.
Oh, really?
Because he, I asked him about, punk rock, and he kind of, was like, I thought you played, Creed. Because I'm sure he thought that I was just be like, oh, well, what do you think? I know that you're into punk rock, And he was like, well, don't you play Creed? I said, oh, actually, bro, I'm on a college station. I play whatever I want. And he was like, I like, who did he say? Oh gosh, I can't think of it now. I'll think of it later. It's anarcho punk band, Crass.
Oh,
yeah, he said he's a big Crass guy, which is understandable.
Sure.
Never been my favorite though. So yeah, we've got kind of the question of who Cal's coach, Cal's
tag team
partner will be. That's floating in the air. No solid answer. No real solid guesses. Just some hopes and dreams, right?
You know what else is floating? My back teeth.
We're hurrying. We only got a few more matches.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you talk about this in-ring sketch because I'm sorry, not in-ring sketch. It's just a segment. It's a backstage segment. I'm sorry.
I absolutely loved this. This was my favorite part of the whole entire show.
I had a feeling.
Over the course of 100 episodes, you've come to know me very well. Tag team match, women's division tonight. We've got Sophia Rose and Lovely Miss Larkin that are getting ready to headline hour one. In case you haven't been following the story, and you're a complete lunatic if you haven't, Lovely Miss Larkin has been searching desperately for her invisible knife that Freya threw into the crowd during one of their matches a few weeks ago. She's been beside herself on several levels, mentally, physically, emotionally. personality-wise, et cetera. Sophia has a very, very thoughtful gift for lovely Miss Larkin. She looks into the bag. It doesn't see anything. It's almost like watching Cookie Monster eat cookies because there's like little bits of confetti and stuff going all over the place. She finally gets to the bottom of the bag and sees that there is a brand new invisible knife. And it's not just any invisible knife. It's engraved. And it says, Sophia loves Larkin. And I just think that's beautiful. And lovely Miss Larkin loses her stuff. Just loses it.
And gives Sophia a tie.
That's
one of her
beautiful.
signature ties. It's a great little moment.
Yeah, it really was.
Kind of the lovely Miss Larkin colors behind you guys just this moment before they change.
Oh, wow.
I think that Larkin was definitely taking some inspiration from the Nintendo 64 kid video. Remember that video from several years ago? This is an early internet video where the kid gets a Nintendo 64 for Christmas morning.
Oh, and just absolutely goes bananas.
It's not Nintendo 64. Yeah, that a lot of that energy from Larkin this week. Loved it. Also love kind of Sophia Rose always being like so game to anytime she's like shoved in a tag team situation, she's always so game to adopt a little bit of whoever she's around.
Yeah.
She's always so game to, even though she's the women's champion, you know, that should make her the biggest paid, makes her the biggest star in the division, right? That, you know, from a storyline perspective.
A lot of times the biggest ego goes along with that too.
Right. That doesn't happen. That's not Sophia's
not the
game.
case,
That's not Sophia's game. Sophia's always willing to cross the aisle, so to speak, always willing to borrow a part of the people that she surrounds herself with, personality. And I think as just a little bit of a character thing, I think that I like it. I think it speaks volumes, right?
Yeah.
It's not just that she's a good guy. It's not like that this is just the team of baby faces. It's like these are friends, right? These are people that care about each other. Right.
Yeah.
Even though lovely Miss Larkin and the hidden knife or the invisible knife might not be real, might be real to Sophia, she's still playing along. She's still helping her friend. Right.
It better be real.
Either
that or I mean, if she paid for that and it's not real, I mean, I hope she has a receipt.
And we can kind of make since we have gone long, we appreciate you guys sticking with us today.
It's a supersized episode. We knew we were going to run long.
We'll kind of make short work of the in-ring sketch here as well that opens up the or I guess precedes the hour one main event. I think we all predicted when David Vox Mullen put out his announcement that he's going to be on OVW TV that this was going to go down. You had it way before anybody else did. Not even going to take credit for it. That was all Brian Hines. You said, oh, no, he's going to take the belt away from Star Rider.
Yeah. Star Rider and Evil Z are in the ring celebrating his new championship run. In case you missed it last week, in case you've been living under a rock. Obsidian Angel defeats Star Rider with the help of all the other goons in the Goon Squad. It's the Legion of Goons, right?
The Legion of the Doom Syndicate.
Earth to Producers.
It's the Doom Syndicate.
The Doom Syndicate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like Legion of Goons, but that's just me. So he defeats Super Z, wins the championship, gifts it to Star Rider, and in typical throwback fashion to Andre the Giant, gifting the heavyweight championship to Ted DiBiase, David Vox Mullen comes in and says, your title reign is unofficial. So in that way, this week, Star Rider is just like us.
Happy 100th episode,
Happy
Star
100th
Rider.
episode, Star Rider.
He's going to come in and paint a smile on you guys' face.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to have a hard reset, a ladder match at hard reset. It's pay-per-view. It's a Rush title scramble match, baby. Gotta love it.
Yeah, I hope there's like 15, 16 people in there.
Meanwhile, Star Rider will fight Super Z at our pay-per-view.
I wonder if there will be some superhero stipulations.
Scaffold match.
Scaffold match.
Star Rider, bring it back, baby. You're the only one to do it. You got to bring it back. It's your stipulation in OVW, and it's the most dangerous stipulation in OVW, right? This is your stipulation. You're the bad guy, right? You're malicious. You're horrible. You don't care if Super Z lives or dies, and at this point, your character doesn't care if you live or die either. You got to bring back the Scaffold match.
Scaffold.
Although some sort of clown-themed match would be cool with oversized props and ridiculousness.
This can all be done. This can all be one match, baby.
Yeah. So there we go. That's it.
This can all be one match. Hour one main event. Both of the hours main event here, I thought, had a lot of time to breathe this evening.
Plenty of time. A good 20 minutes or so for each of them.
Which I love to see.
Yeah.
I guess whenever we were talking about this last week on Fan Zone, and we really don't, we do a good job of coming in here fresh every week and not like being on social media, not seeing what matches have been announced, like until we do
more
the
often than not. No.
Yeah, until we do the recording. So we had missed, I guess, that J-Rod replaced or was replaced by Tegan Thorne.
Yeah, I was not aware of that.
I don't know. Well, yeah, the posters that they had up on Wednesday were not that. Like, we had a poster that said the other thing.
So we'll get into the match, but I want to get to the finish before we do. Are you guys, if it's not J-Rod and Freya over Lovely Miss Larkin and Sophia Rose versus Lovely Miss Larkin and Sophia Rose here, are you guys surprised that the team that Freya was on took the victory?
No.
I kind of am. You've got an unsure component there. You've got someone that you haven't spent the past week preparing to be in a tag ring.
Okay, well, that's fair. But think about when everybody was on the Fan Zone a couple weeks ago, and we went around the room to predict who would win between and that fatal four-way.
I agree. I was
Every
right there.
single person in that room.
I led the
picked
charge.
Freya.
I led the charge,
You
baby.
did?
I did. I was right there. We don't know enough about Tegan Thorne to say that she's that she's anywhere near J-Rod's level. She could be, but we know J-Rod is a former champion.
Mm-hmm.
We know J-Rod has beef with Lovely Miss Larkin and Sophia Rose.
Plenty of it.
What does Tegan have with Lovely Miss Larkin and Sophia Rose, and what does she have with Freya the Slayer? I just this kind of frustrates me. It frustrates me a little bit. Of course, I thought J-Rod and Freya were going to win, but this is not the team of J-Rod and Freya.
No. The one thing that Tegan Thorne did have in this case was the spotlight for 20 minutes at the end of hour one.
Absolutely. And, that's a tough position to be put in on what seemed to be short notice. And she rose to the occasion. It just sometimes, you know what it is I started watching other wrestling that's not OVW, and now I'm getting frustrated with wrestling again.
That's a deduction.
I started watching stuff where I have no relationship with the people involved, and I'm just looking at my TV why would they do that? And now it's seeped into my coverage of Ohio Valley Wrestling, and I apologize. This is an episode 100 exclusive. It will not continue. I can't guarantee that.
Let's see Freya the Slayer doing some wrestling moves. How's that?
Would love to.
Lovely Miss Larkin is in a bad part of town right off of the bat in this match, and I would not want to be on the receiving end.
Well, it's got to be Larkin, doesn't it?
Huh?
It's got to be Larkin, right? She's the presumably the weak link in between her and Sophia. I wouldn't call her that, but I could see where Freya's coming from.
I wouldn't call her that. She would probably have to go to therapy if she were to hear that. So
no, I certainly, you know me, I've said nothing but good things about Lovely Miss Larkin, and will continue to. But from Freya's perspective, you're going to take the person that's proven themselves as a champion. You're going to take the relative newcomer if you're just trying to take advantage of somebody.
I suppose I see your point, but then on the other hand, it's still a gamble because you don't know who you're going to get when you're in the ring against Lovely Miss Larkin.
Yeah, Sophia might have been the surer bet. That's for sure.
Yeah,
especially now that she has her invisible knife back. Lovely Miss Larkin.
I really hope that I can buy an invisible knife the next time I go to Davis Arena. And if you don't have invisible knives for sale, well, you're leaving money on the table.
Lovely Miss Larkin. This man is willing to give you $20 for air. Take it. Take his $20, okay?
Or
next time you see this guy, this actually goes for any wrestler at the gimmick stand. He just wants an invisible knife. Doesn't have to be from Lovely Miss Larkin. He is willing to take $20 for air.
Okay, so I am not an invisible cutlery collector. But I just wanted this one souvenir because it is pretty cool. Don't get me wrong. I want all the shirts. I want all the pictures. It's just got to do it Johnny Cash style, one piece at a time.
Larkin Invisible Cutlery. You'll know you found it when you start bleeding.
You can taste the quality, really.
Can we go ahead and see our next clip, please?
We sure can.
Sophia Rose taunting Freya. Freya's spent a lot of time taunting Sophia, so that's okay. Got some tag team action. Larkin
this
is
is some great teamwork.
Walk.
I loved this.
Oh.
Yeah, because
That's highly unorthodox.
well, at first it was impossible for me to see where it was going. Like,
Yeah, I had no
the
idea.
first time I saw it, and that kind of, this is a theme of every conversation we have about Miss Larkin. When you see her walking slowly away from, she might be going to join the other team. She might be going to complain to the manager. And then you see her fall down. Is she wrestling herself? You
Yeah.
have no idea what she's doing. Sophia knows because they're friends. She comes in to capitalize. Good stuff from Sophia Rose. Hits Tegan right there on the
bulldog
jaw.
assist.
Yeah, I love good stuff. This is a good tag team. Love Miss Larkin and Sophia Rose.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's because you got two people with a lot of the same energy. These are two performers that go full force into everything that they're given.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be able to play off of each other. That kind of energy is infectious, and they're going to be able to play off of each other for as long as necessary.
Yeah.
Good stuff from them. So, Showtime Shanklin, our friend, good guy. Come on, man.
We do
Wait.
still have one more.
Oh, sorry.
We have the finisher.
Sorry, Tegan. They're going to fight their way
Lovely
all
Miss
the way out of
Larkin
the
trying
ring.
to beat Tegan Thorne like Ralphie Parker towards the end of A Christmas Story.
Scott Farkas.
Yep.
Yeah, where he rules on Scott Farkas.
Uh-huh.
Sophia is left alone in the ring. The tie's a little too tight. It's getting in her way, unfortunately. And Freya puts her down with the choke slam. Freya maybe's learned a little bit not to waste any time getting to the pin after, her last few mishaps with J-Rod. She finds that camera straight out, sticks her tongue as she's pinning.
That's
Sophia
everybody
Rose.
in OVW knows she means business.
Good stuff this week from our one's main event.
Yeah.
Good show this week.
Now let's get to the depressing.
Unless a good show for everyone, not to name Showtime Shanklin.
All I can say about this is we love you, Showtime Shanklin. That was rough. Funeral services for Showtime Shanklin will be this Thursday at 7 p.m.
I heard
because that was a murder.
I heard that he watched the show last Wednesday when we found out that he was wrestling Kadeem,
Oh, really?
and I was like, "What do you think?" And apparently he just said, "I mean, they're right."
Well,
Yeah,
at least
come on,
he
man.
knew what
Yeah.
he was coming up against. But Mount Kadeem, seriously? Come on, man.
No, let's stop being so coy though for a second. What an opportunity for Showtime Shanklin, man! You're in the.
I mean, it really was.
You're in the ring with the champion. You're in the ring with a champion ahead of a pay-per-view. You're in the ring for a champion for no other reason than to make him look really big and strong. And you were the guy that got called on to do that tonight. How many guys have we seen in that spot that keep moving up the ladder?
And once again, you shot your shot. Whoosh, swish.
Good stuff this evening. From short, sweet. We all knew what it was going to be. Eric Surge, I think I even called that last week. Eric Surge is going to come out and make sure that there's no further damage to Showtime Shanklin than absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
Could this be the beginning of that, what I was just talking about? Whenever you put in the work, eventually you get bigger and bigger opportunities. Could Eric Surge taking pity on Showtime Shanklin here be the beginning of Eric Surge and Showtime running around with Eric Surge? Possibly. Maybe bringing his friend Justice Davis along, possibly.
Could very well be.
I really want Justice Davis and Brandon Davis to form a tag team called No Relation.
Better.
Okay, that's better than
Yeah.
the sports people.
Better than sports people.
I was just brainstorming.
Go
Come on,
sports
guys.
balls.
You should have continued brainstorming.
Brainstorming. You have to have a brain to do that.
This is also, oh, wow. This is also the first time I've ever seen a match just stopped where the ref says the other guy can't continue and gives the match to the other guy. But that is actually what happened here.
Yeah, that hurts, man.
That's good stuff. That's smart booking. Yeah, so we're gonna see Eric Surge and Mount Kadeem at Hard Reset.
Yep.
Any guesses there?
No, that's what predictions are
No,
for on Wednesdays.
I'll put out a weird one. Kadeem has to drop the belt to challenge for the big belt. Kadeem wins it. Eric Surge, Kadeem, back and forth. There's your rivalry for the end of the year. I probably won't say that on the official show though. I try to be a little bit more not straightforward. So yeah, we've got that. So what all do we know about Hard Reset right now? We've got Kadeem, Eric Surge, Cal Hero, and a partner of his choosing versus Crixus and
Shotgun Tony Gunn.
Cal
and his mystery partner win. He gets 5 minutes
with Doug.
The Revolution wins. Cal's gone.
Right. We've got the scramble match for the Rush Division title.
Yeah.
And we've got Super Z versus Star Rider.
That's correct.
And it probably, if we had to pencil another one in, let's pencil another two in, women's multi-match. I'm going to pencil 3. Women's multi-match, Jack Von Donovan Cecil, Sophia Freya.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so we're looking at a full card, basically, as we stand right now.
Absolutely so.
Does it seem to you like this build came together a little quicker than maybe some other builds in OVW in the past 2 years?
It seems like a perfectly natural series of events that will culminate in the greatest pay-per-view in the middle of June that happens on the 14th, and that would be Hard Reset.
I don't disagree. We always have good pay-per-view. It always makes sense. It always gets there the right way. I just feel like sometimes we don't have all of the matches until like the Thursday before.
More often than not, yes.
And here we have a pay-per-view's worth essentially already announced, or at least easily alluded to.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an observation. It's not a good, bad, positive, or negative. It's just an observation.
It is what it is.
So, up next is a match between Cash Daniel and Adam Revolver. Cash Daniel getting a lot of opportunity. Said it last week. A lot of airtime on the old OVW. Guy's very charismatic. Guy's very big. Guy's not too bad at wrestling in his current form. Not asked to do a whole lot. Getting put with some great partners like Adam Revolver and Jake Lawless, Tony Evans. He's coming along. He's coming along just fine. For where he's at. The charisma's all there though.
Nothing but.
Is he? Do I expect him to be Shelton Benjamin? Benjamin Shelton? Did you hear whenever Hulk Hogan kept calling him Benjamin Shelton?
I did not, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
He invented Benjamin Shelton.
No, I don't expect him to be five-star workhorse right now, or maybe potentially ever. But he's being booked effectively for his skill set right now.
Yeah,
Cash Daniel is, and I said this last week about Lawless. I said it when we found out about Revolver. I'll say it again now. I love the people that they've put him around so far. Tony Evans, Lawless, Revolver. These are all guys who've been around. These are all guys, Tony Evans especially, heat magnet. Lawless obviously to a lesser extent. Revolver really, really, really likes to when he wants to get there, he can get there.
Yeah, he can totally get there.
So I like all of this so far. I like the Cash Daniel experiment so far. I think that they are kind of trying to really keep him like very, 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 very strong. I mean, he's like just deflecting stuff at this point. In some of these matches that he's having, he's not even like registering pain on like a chop or whatever. Can we go ahead and see our first clip? Cash Daniel lighting Adam Revolver up, throws Revolver into the other side of the ring, cuts him off in the middle of the ring, sends him to the ground. Revolver's looking for relief in the rope. Cash Daniel's not going to let him have it, sends him to the other side of the ring. Cash Daniel goes down.
Adam Revolver, much smarter than that, sees it coming from a mile away.
And Adam Revolver, I think this was a great call on commentary. Adam Revolver's put so many people out with that sleeper hold.
Yeah.
And with just, maneuvers like that. So, yeah, we're seeing good basic pro wrestling stuff right now. But it's all serving, I guess, a greater purpose, which is building Cash Daniel into a star. Right? That's what they're trying to do. What are you laughing
at? I wasn't laughing.
No, he's over
no,
here.
No,
he's
no,
over
I
here
was.
He's over here cutting.
So I'm watching this clip, and I'm watching Adam Revolver and Cash Daniel going back and forth, and I get distracted by the type in the top right corner, video courtesy of Ohio Valley Wrestling.
Yeah, I noticed that like an hour ago. Keep up.
Can you spell courtesy?
He tried.
The answer is no. That's a deduction.
All right.
Oh.
All right, listen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in and for the next 100 episodes, no more can we spell. We're not picking on people for not being able to spell anymore. There's words that all of us can't spell.
I can't spell. That is just a thing.
And I will stop talking about Guadalajara. That is my promise.
Oh, the Mexican restaurant.
I still think you should take points off though. I do like the point thing.
Okay.
I do like the point thing.
I will take the points off.
I do like the point thing.
All right.
And if I misspell something on screen, yeah, that's a deduction. I'll own that.
That's okay, man. We'll go out for like breadsticks or something after that. It'll be fine.
Courtesy of. Sorry. I see. I knew I couldn't say it. I knew I couldn't.
You got me. Let's see the next clip in this.
Please. Oh, one of my all-time favorite spots in the history of professional wrestling: the figure four.
Rollover.
The rollover, the reversal of the pressure on the figure four. It's always so devastating. It's one of the worst things that ever happens. Has it
ever happened to you?
No, it has never happened to me. But it is always since my very early days watching wrestling. 5-7 years ago. This has always been one of the most entertaining spots to me. I don't know. It still fills me with joy.
My brother and I used to wrestle every day after school growing up. My mom made belts out of the bottoms of my pant legs and sewed them together, and we would make the cardboard centerpieces for them and the side plates and stuff like that. My brother was a master of the figure four, and you roll over in one of those one of these times, and you'll feel it.
Dude, your legs. He had your number. Your legs are too long.
Yeah, I mean, he knew he was good like that.
Yeah, he had you scouted.
Yep,
much like Adam Revolver in this match.
Exactly.
Let's go ahead and see our last clip here. Looks like Cash Daniel trying to manhandle Adam Revolver a little bit.
That is a classic Adam Revolver veteran move. The double hook backslide.
Look at the look on his face.
Yeah, he's like, holy crap, I can't believe I pulled that off.
I can't believe that worked.
And then, of course, kind of something that we've seen time and time again, this idea of sportsmanship, this idea of fairness, this idea of like doing things the right way seems very important to Cash Daniel, the character, right now.
Yeah.
So he shakes Adam Revolver's hand, says, "Hey, man, a win's a win."
I appreciate that about him. I really do.
There's something honestly so kind of wholesome about it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of from a wrestling perspective, just kind of like, you got me this time. It's not a blood feud. It's not.
No, I'm out for revenge.
Yeah,
nothing like that.
Nobody
I'm going to
stole
burn
anything.
this place to the ground.
Yeah,
it's like, hey man,
I came here to wrestle this evening, and I had every intention of winning, and I did not win. And congratulations. Next time, maybe you won't be so lucky, but this time you got me. I think there is something very like, I didn't want to use the word quaint because that would
he's not a small town.
You're right. No, but it's something very wholesome about that as a wrestling character that I really enjoy. Let's go ahead and talk about our next match of the evening, Brian Hines.
We did see a quick segment between Cal and Doug backstage. We've already kind of covered that. That's kind of laying out the terms for their match at Hard Reset.
I was going to say, I didn't know if we had skipped it or notes if we hadn't gotten to it yet.
No. We'd already talked about it. So we'll move on to our next match, which is...
Doug hates Cal.
Yeah.
Capiche. Yeah, this is the one I wish I'd have gotten. So now we have figured out from a technical standpoint how to do audio on these clips. So expect more of that stuff starting next week.
Like Capiche?
I think that could just be a new Malachi drop. It's just the word Capiche.
Just Doug Basham doing Capiche.
Yeah, I think that could be a new Malachi drop. We might have to work on that one.
So the next match, we see Superior Tony Evans accompanied to the ring by the Mayan Mauler, Drew Hernandez, his new insurance policy versus his former insurance policy, one Jay De Niro.
So now that you guys have kind of gotten acquainted with Drew Hernandez, Brian Hines, what do you think of him?
Definitely a foreboding character. I can see why Superior Tony Evans would pick him. He can still continue to run his mouth, tell everybody to hush, and if anybody has a problem with it, they're going to have to answer to Drew Hernandez. I totally get it.
No, it's good stuff. I out of left field, we kind of talked about that. You know, usually this is the type of thing that would happen over the course of a few weeks or months. You know, someone's introduced, someone finds their place. Drew Hernandez kind of gets injected straight into the Tony Evans, Jay De Niro stuff, and injects himself straight into the match. Let's see some clips, Tiny Brian.
We started off getting the match that I hoped that we would get. Where
gotta wet
Jay
the
De
palate a
Niro
little bit.
gets the revenge on Superior Tony Evans. Really, takes him to the shed out back and just beats him senseless. But when you've got an insurance policy, that means that it is always going to be 2-on-1. Superior Tony Evans, knowing his former friend as well as he does, goes in for a chop block on the knee, and that is pretty much the beginning of the downside for Jay De Niro this evening.
Jay De Niro shave? I think he did. Looks like he must have had to go to court.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Must have had to go meet his PO.
Probably.
I couldn't agree more. Especially Jay's always kind of had like the knee issues.
Yeah.
To everyone, no one knows that better than Tony. That's where Tony decides. Tony's always going to play dirty. Drew Hernandez seems to be just as apt and talented for ref distraction. Has a talent for ref distraction alongside the level of Jay De Niro, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So they're going to be a fun little thing. Hernandez and Evans. Can we go ahead and see our next clip, please?
A familiar
Loaded
scene,
baked potato glove.
The loaded baked potato glove.
To borrow from some of your guys' old jokes about the baked potato glove, do they just sell those things? Is Tony Evans like where do you find these? Like, is there more than one of them?
Well,
is this the same one Jay De
Got
Niro?
2 hands.
Is this the same one Jay De Niro had? I have a lot of questions.
Commentary team said this is Jay De Niro's loaded glove.
Okay.
Using his own glove against him? That's ridiculous. That's heresy.
That's dirty.
Yeah.
That's something only a scoundrel would do. So yeah, we see just how fearsome Drew Hernandez is going to end up being. Then we see
some weird.
Yeah, this one is not as disturbing as Jack Vaughn getting shaved. Like, this one's just kind of like bums me out and makes me sad, but also makes me excited because this means Jay De Niro is probably coming back with a new look soon.
Probably let's
tell him what it is first. I don't think we've gotten all the way there.
Yeah, we get the match thrown out due to outside interference by Drew Hernandez and the loaded baked potato glove that was formerly owned by Jay De Niro. Tony Evans grabs the mic, as he often does, and says that not only does he want to hurt him, he wants to humiliate him and embarrass him. So what's the easiest, quickest way to do that? grab a pair of barber shears and cut only half of his ponytail off.
That is actually ugly. They should have taken it all the way up to the top.
I mean, that's just like a trim, man.
And I'm gonna give Tony Evans some real credit here. Those scissors weren't going through at the base of that ponytail, so I'm glad he's smart for.
They didn't look like they were going to go through anything really.
Yeah, they didn't look like they were going to go through the end of the ponytail.
Yeah.
So he could have really done some massive damage to Jay's hair if he had gone any further up. But I do think that this is going to give Jay kind of, this is an excuse to kind of maybe play around, try some new things.
Is he going to get a new spring hairdo is what you're saying?
He could. He already shaved.
Well, okay, that's fair. I guess we'll see this coming week on OVW Rise.
And I want to see that Jay Denour. You remember that 1 week where he came out and he didn't look like a gangster from New York. He looked like a gangster from Miami. He was in the brown, the tan suit.
Yeah, I remember
that. I kind of
that.
want to see that. That was cool.
Yeah,
that was a cool look. So yeah, it looks like we're moving forward with Jay Denour, Tony Evans. Guess we're getting.
I want to see that at Hard Reset.
Something at Hard Reset, I would imagine. Something hair related at Hard Reset.
Oh, I don't know. Does Superior Tony Evans have enough to lose to put on the line?
There's a little bit up there.
Gentlemen, we have officially broken the clock.
Oh, it stopped? Well, we're going to need a new clock. Good thing we're on our final match of the evening here, Brian Hines.
We most certainly are. We have at the main event, Hour 2, OVW Tag Team Champions, the trifecta, minus...
Anthony Katina was missing this weekend.
Notoriously missing versus OVW Median Champion Dustin Jackson and Cal Hero.
Said it before while we were talking about Hour 1's main event, but bears repeating here before we get too far into it. A lot of time to breathe for this main event here.
Yes, it was a good, solid 20-minute match. Great action going back and forth, both sides. It was just a really solid match involving 4 solid competitors.
Honestly, and that's what it is, right? If you're having a cold tag team match to main event the evening, these are your 4 guys that you want doing it. These are 4 of them. Not only are they 4 of the most established kind of Adonis and Beretta on their way up, Cal and Dustin already there as far as established stars goes, but these are 4 of the easiest 4 wrestlers that you have.
Yeah, the whole match looks effortless.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so good.
These are 4 of just the best, go in, have an entertaining match, styles make matches, wrestlers that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with I think Adonis and Dustin are very, very similar. I think that Cal is somewhere between Beretta and Dustin Jackson Adonis, and then Beretta is his own kind of. You see 4 competitors, 3 different kind of range of not capability but wrestling style.
Yeah,
I think they're all about the same capability wise.
It was a very, very evenly matched event.
So we just saw our first clip there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see that again. Let's comment on that for a second. See Cal dragging Adonis over to the corner. Got that tag. Dustin Jackson got that wrist lock set in down to a side headlock. Dustin Jackson really wrenching it in. Adonis goes for the hair. The ref's smart enough to call it out. Gives Adonis the advantage for a headlock of his own. Dustin Jackson pushes Adonis into the ropes. He's down. Dustin Jackson's over, and an arm drag onto the ground. Dustin Jackson's up. Ashton Adonis on the ground. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. I could watch those 2 wrestle forever. Let's see our next clip, please. Oh. Adonis taking advantage of the situation.
Catching himself on the rope, thinking that he's safe. Clearly he is not, because behind him is Dustin Jackson. Serves him with a couple of chops, throws him back in the ring. Cal Hero knocks him to the mat.
Big punch from Cal Hero. And Beretta tries to come after Cal Hero. Cal Hero ducks him out.
They both clear the trifecta out of the house.
Beretta's over on one side of the ring ropes, and Adonis, or I guess he's on the one side of the floor. Adonis is on the other side of the floor.
Mhm.
Team of the trifecta has been separated.
Cleaning house.
The team of the Fanny Pack Party, Cal Hero and Dustin Jackson, are standing victorious, at least for now. Let's see our next clip. Adonis again with Dustin Jackson by the hair. Quick
Great
tag
teamwork by Trifecta. Lots of quick tags, lots of combination maneuvers, double suplex for Dustin Jackson.
Yeah, and that
Twice the impact.
and
Double
for-
your pleasure, double your pain.
from Dustin Jackson's perspective, it seems like Cal Hero over there, even though he's trying to give Dustin every inch of leverage he has to make the tag, it seems like Cal Hero is a million miles away after that double suplex from the trifecta.
Could not be even further.
So, did you, first off, loved this match? These are four of your most capable wrestlers in the division right now. It was kind of a cold match, but this was, not a lot of lead up, but it was fun. It was great.
Yeah.
Right? New champions versus old champions, all that stuff, right? There had to be something up, though, right? There had to be something up. It was a little too straightforward for a little too long, right?
Yeah.
Before the Revolution, of course, disrupts the match. Let's see that clip. Who'd you have winning if the Revolution didn't disrupt?
God, man, it's such a tough call. I mean, I think the Trifecta retain,
I would.
but I demand a rematch.
I don't know, man. It looked like Dustin Jackson and Cal had him right there.
That's why we need a rematch, man. You just don't know because the Revolution ruined it.
Yeah,
Came in to just beat everybody down, as they often do.
refs going crazy. He can't get control over the place. Everybody's getting beat up. Doug Basham hates Cal. That's what we need to know. And he's willing to put anybody on the line and ruin anything to show Cal, hey, like, I haven't forgotten about you. I'm not leaving you alone. Also, who's losing their mind more, Doug Basham or the ref?
It's 50-50.
It's good stuff.
Maybe a little bit more on the Doug Basham side.
So I guess that's it, right?
At least for this week.
Existential third act. We don't know where we're going. We got another week ahead of us. Well, I guess usually this is about the time we would sit and do Fan Zone. We're not doing that this week. That's tomorrow night live, Wednesday night.
Or if you're listening this, we just did it.
We just did
depending on your
Fan Zone. Thank you
perspective.
guys for tuning into Fan Zone this week.
Thank you so much.
It was a great time.
Yeah, I had a blast, as always. Do you remember that thing I did?
Dude, it was so...
I can't believe we got away with that on
We're
live
actually
TV.
going to put it out as soon as we're done here. So
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet. Wow.
Do you remember that thing I did?
You didn't do anything.
we'll see.
Not on this show. Not on this show.
No.
Not on this show. Not on the 100th
This is
episode.
unofficial.
Not on the unofficial show, Malachi.
Not on our 100th episode.
Thank you guys so much for listening this week's episode of the OVW Podcast. We know we got a little schmaltzy. We know we got a little schmoozy. Don't worry, that won't happen again for another 100 episodes. Tune in, and in another 100 episodes, we'll tell you the exact same stories that you heard today, all in remembrance and in nostalgia. Thank you guys so much for listening for the past 100 episodes. Seriously, for everyone here at the OVW Podcast, my name is Jackman Oaks.
My name is Brian Hines, and we love each and every one of you. Thank you so much.
And so does Malachi, and so does Tiny Brian Woodard, and so does Victor Anderson, and so does everyone at Black Light Moon Productions. Thank you, OVW, for the clips. Love you guys.